you're going to get invited into a house. Mm-hmm. And the house is going to be broken down into certain rooms.
Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
camp.
what it was called.
Well, very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand it.
The truth will come out.
I like when you like this, Daddy. Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit. I like that.
They sent me this stuff on Jaguar. Right. I salute you, Goddess. A lot of stuff that you talking is real.
Alcohol and Diddy didn't go well together, that's for sure. That's because drunk Diddy says and does a lot of bizarre stuff compared to when he's sober. But the situation has just gotten 10 times more alarming because various celebrities have started disclosing why they fear drunk Diddy. And we have our latest addition to this list of celebrities, who is none other than the legendary rapper Biggie's mom, Voletta Wallace. We all know how Voletta is not a big fan of Diddy for reasons that are pretty obvious. She blames him for Biggie's death, which is not surprising considering Diddy seemed to be too far involved in all the events that led up to his death. So that automatically makes him the prime suspect, to which Voletta had some solid claims to make and said, "I have a very good idea who murdered Christopher." She went on to talk about how the authorities are trying to protect the culprit. They've done their investigation, but they just refuse to move forward. I don't know why they haven't arrested who was involved. Biggie's wife Faith had said something similar and indicated in many of her interviews that she's also well aware of who Biggie's killer is.
We know he was murdered, but we believe that the LAPD knows who's responsible.
Even though the judiciary lacks sufficient proof, we know that a mother's intuition is always right. According to Voletta, Diddy's link to her son's death is too coincidental to not pay attention. Additionally, it might not be the only crime he's committed. She's blatantly used her limelight to bring to our notice how Diddy has been involved in gay relationships with underage boys. Voletta also pointed out a significant reason why she thinks drunk Diddy is even worse than the sober one. Not only does Diddy lose all sense of right and wrong whenever he gets tipsy, but he also tends to forget that he's still a closeted gay and acts way more bizarre than normal. And yes, we're still more certain talking about the time he was absolutely wasted in a podcast. Let's just say it was not as entertaining to watch as Diddy thought it would be.
I like when you like this, Daddy. Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit. I like that.
He even admitted once to having done things that he'd never do sober. It doesn't help his case either that he forgets what he drunkenly confessed to.
Nah, I was coming off of being in Miami a night of party, and I don't really remember what I was saying. You know what I'm saying?
Another one of his oops moments caught on camera would be when a candid video of Diddy and Cameron went viral where Diddy seemed to be offering him Vaseline. We don't need to delve into further details on how that could imply his hidden sexuality.
Check this out, pink horsepower. Yeah. What does it do, Cam?
I can't tell you exactly what it do, but you gonna have a lot of...
Not just that, we have a list of far bigger drunk confessions from Diddy that seem to make more sense as more and more allegations are piling up against him. Voletta's accusations of Diddy are backed up by him as well as various other celebrities. Usher, for example, was also a prey to Diddy's sexual advances back when he was 10. And guess who let this secret slip? Diddy himself. He drunkenly let out that he and Usher used to wake up together back when he was 19 and the latter was only 10.
When we used to wake up and, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older.
Usher also mentioned going to his unconventional gay parties, which weren't really his scene, but they got him to learn a lot about Diddy. One of them being Flavor Camp, which happened to be hosted by Diddy when Usher was only 15 years old. He even admitted that Diddy exposed him to all the unmentionable wrongs of society.
Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
camp.
what it was called.
Well, very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Who knows what the poor boy had to go through at these parties for him to have come out as traumatized as he did. Usher even flat out denied that he won't let his close ones near one of Diddy's parties ever.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
This wasn't the only time a celebrity shared negative reviews about Diddy's parties, which has left some of the fans confused. One person asked, if they're so scared, why do they go? Well, that's a valid question. It's all a game of money and power. People crave power, and rappers who are on the starting point of their careers get the hype of their life when they get associated with a name as big as Diddy. So the question was answered by another fan who shared similar sentiments. Some go not knowing. They think they'll be networking to boost their careers, and the other 97% are nasty just like him. Another addition to these rumors is that Usher is not his only victim who got lucky enough to disclose his experiences to the media. Another one of Diddy's sexcapades was brought out in the open when Diddy was sued by his ex-chef for sexual harassment and retaliation. His former chef claimed that she was framed for theft and fired after complaining about sexual harassment and not being paid for overtime. The chef says she was regularly asked to serve food for her boss and her friends immediately following sexual activity. According to sources, Ruta claims she served Combs a post-coital meal while he was naked, and he asked her if she liked his body. One of his friends, she says, came into the kitchen naked and asked her to look at and admire his genitals. Certainly, there was plenty of others who went unnoticed. So Diddy has established a reputation of being a sex offender who lures young women and rappers by offering them indulgences to eventually take advantage of them. He appears to have a pattern of luring them in by asking them to enter his car. Another way he does this is via his infamous parties. His parties are well known for being notoriously inappropriate. Think of all the improper things your mom told you to stay away from and add some more obscenity to that. There you have it, Diddy's parties. Jaguar Wright also talked about these parties quite openly.
Money or sex? That's all that happens at Diddy parties.
And mind you, it's not the strict dress code or the endless supply of alcohol and other stuff that screams inappropriate. It's Diddy rumored to have been acting out his wildest sexual fantasies at these parties without a care in the world that's unsettling. And if that isn't enough to make people run for the hills, the fact that Diddy coerces everyone else to partake is a dead giveaway. Jaguar Wright hinted at Diddy's improper demands from his junior rappers. She mentioned Christopher Williams in one of her videos and how Diddy demanded sexual favors from him. Later on, he even went ahead and threatened an unfortunate eyewitness of the scene.
Said if I can make a man suck my dick, I can make people do anything for money. That's what you said, Puff.
Notice how Jaguar imitates Diddy gloating about his ways? This just shows that he's used to getting away with whatever he wants. And it's his ever-growing influence and his stronghold over the music industry that allows him to be a self-proclaimed gangster, as well as the top music rapper lasting for more than a decade now. Jaguar's statement was testified by Diddy's ex-bodyguard, who seems to not be fond of his ex-boss's ways. Gene Deal leaves no chance of letting the world know how dirty Diddy's hands were, so he jumped at his opportunity to salute Jaguar on her bravery for splitting truths. He also stated that Diddy didn't pay her to shut her mouth, and it's really commendable how she chose to set the facts straight.
Sent me this stuff on Jaguar. Right. I salute you, God. It's a lot of stuff that you talking is real.
The repetitive confessions have led the fans to believe that there might be some truth to these allegations. Like this one person who commented, "I don't care if you believe this story about Diddy or not. There are way too many similar stories of Diddy involved in homosexual activities for everybody to be telling lies." Another one added, "This all started with Clive Davis. He had all them brothers selling their souls." As this fan pointed out, Clive Davis was the mentor of Diddy, and an eerie fact that links him to all this ordeal is the fact that Clive had undergone almost all of these accusations in a similar manner. Not only does he have a shady criminal track record, but he also has evidence lined up and proved to be a sexual offender. Not to forget that he took Diddy under his supervision when the latter was a minor. Doesn't that sound awfully familiar? That's because history repeated itself when Diddy decided to become an exemplary mentee and follow in his master's footsteps. Therefore, all of these speculations revolving around drunk Diddy and his notorious ways lead us to believe that Valletta might actually be right. Fellow rappers really need to stay away from him when he was wasted because he gets into his unhinged predator form as soon as the drinks hit him. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.